Hello everyone and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind, the show where I 200 older characters so you don't have to. Today we'll be covering Tetsuzaemon, and I can definitely see why you guys wanted me to hurry this episode. I never actually used him until today, and I was pretty surprised with this character. Not like in previous rewinds, we started with a normal attack damage build. I never really knew what his abilities were, but I knew he had a higher attack than SP. And at 684 he can actually do some decent damage. Unfortunately he only has a plus 20 bruiser, so that could definitely be higher, but with the right links you really can't tell. In the end he was able to take out most of the enemies with a single normal attack string, and even the exceptions to that went down with the following hit. Tetsuzaemon also has long reach at 20 and you can definitely tell, as it never really felt like a hassle to reach the enemies. Under this build I didn't actually use his strong attacks, because the normal attacks were honestly enough. There weren't really any melee guard enemies, so I didn't really have to, and his normal attack alone was enough to clear a Shinji raid in under 2 minutes. So yeah, this build is definitely viable, though I still wish he had a higher bruiser. Next I tried the strong attack damage build, and I knew his SP was pretty low. Because I recorded this in Japanese, I didn't actually know what his skills were, so I didn't bother to try to check what his berserker was at. To my surprise, this build was amazing. As I mentioned, with the normal attack damage build I didn't actually use his strong attacks, and before this video, I had never actually used this character at all, so I had no idea his strong attacks had such good reach. In addition to this, they were also able to destroy almost every enemy in a single shot. Only after recording all of these did I realize this guy actually has frenzy, which explains a lot. Now, unfortunately, once you do use up your strong attacks, you are left with only your normal attack, and if his bruiser was a little higher, this wouldn't be that big of an issue, but as it stands now, his normal attack doesn't deal that much damage without any normal attack links. It still has good reach, and it can still use to take out any remaining health left on the enemies, but a higher bruiser would be nice, especially with that high attack. Still, this build is definitely viable, and it's definitely worth checking out if you have him. Next up I tried the strong attack recharge build, and I've gotta say I liked this build a lot. Strong attacks of course are what makes a character fun, and under this build you get to spam them. Unfortunately they don't deal as much damage as the last build, and while usually they're still enough to take out enemies in a single shot, this time they weren't. Though it did take out most of their health, and being able to spam them more than made up for this. Plus this is a pretty easy fix, just get his SP a little bit higher. I stop at 100% increase, only because I try to make these builds attainable for people who are just starting the game. So yeah, this build is definitely viable, though his normal attack still sucks under this. Next I tried the hybrid build, and I was actually really excited to try this because I had no idea his strong attacks were so good. Under this build he definitely dominated, being able to take out most of the enemies with a single strong attack, thanks of course to the increase in SP and the increase in attack, and relying on his normal attack when the strong attacks are recharging was definitely not a bad option here, since at this point it did a decent amount of damage, because I had a bit more link backup. So yeah, once again this build is definitely viable, and in my opinion the best one out of the 3. Tetsuzaemon was definitely a nice surprise. I was not expecting him to have frenzy, and the great range in his strong attacks was definitely a bonus. I'm definitely excited to see what he becomes once he gets resurrected. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel. Also, why not check out some other rewinds and let me know what other character you want to see.